been working on these under-seat bulkheads. I ripped my sheet of plywood into 11 3/4-inch strips, and I've been making templates. This is out of some foam. And now I'm going to take my pattern onto my plywood strip, transfer that and cut it. So I have my under-seat bulkheads installed. That took a little bit of doing. First thing I did was glued these in with the 2-part epoxy out of the caulking tube. That gives you a nice little bead. After that was set up, I went ahead and made up some fillets to strengthen this joint and create a little radius so the fiberglass tape would sit in there nice. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install this seat riser, which is a longitude piece similar to this, set down at this right below the seats. That's going to support the back seats and just tie the boat in a little tighter. And after that we can install the seats. So let's go. Okay, now I'm working on the back seats. I made up this template, which I have all the dimensions in the print. And basically this is this 11 3/4, which is the same height as this transom brace. And these bulkheads. So this is going to help support these rear seats, and this also creates a place for a 6-gallon gas tank. And you might want to measure your tank. I have these dimensions for, it was a Suzuki brand tank, and I made this one an inch bigger just because I don't know what size the next tank's going to be. So after I made that, cut that onto my piece of 3/4 plywood. And that's going to sit somewhere about there. But to get the exact dimension, I had to make up the seat. Let me show you that. So here's my rear seat on the port side. After I cut the dimensions, I put a bevel on the back here to meet up against the pitch of the transom, which I think is 10 degrees. And then to get this location of this 2-inch piece, just to stiffen this up, when this was in this corner, I just pushed that piece in, put some clamps on it, or against that transom brace. As you can see, it's still long right here. Flipped it over, put 2 screws in it, or 3 screws in it. That's still going to get taken apart because I'm going to cut this edge off with the bandsaw close. And this 1-inch piece, this bevels up. I have a 30-degree bevel on there, butting against this seat riser support. And after I cut that off, cut it off a little wide of the line, and then I go back and use this router with this flush cutting tracer bit, and that bearing will ride right along this radius here and keep them both flush. And I want this support to sit right up against this 1-inch piece here. So this seat in right to this transom brace in the back, butt it against this rib. And then I'm going to bring this seat support right out to that one, and then I'm going to put a square. I'm going to square that up. Now that I have that support location, I'm going to trace around that and glue that in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and after that's glued up, I'm going to wind up putting a fillet and fiberglass to the floor and to the side. That's all. That's going to hold that in place, and then we'll screw it, everything together, screw it and glue it, and that'll act like a nice brace to hold tight more of this boat together. I'm going to finish screwing off these seat supports, and then we'll make these. I have these already cut, so we're going to fit these, and they're also going to get a 1-inch piece along the front just to give it some thickness and stiffen it up a little better. So I'm working on this forward seat, seat number 2, and I want to get this 16-inch wide piece cut. And let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to template that because that comes out the most accurate. I've done it other ways, put a center mark right there and take measurements out to each side, but template is going to be the best. So these 14 inches apart from outside, and I'm going to add a 1-inch strip underneath of the seat that's going to give it a little overhang and give a little more strength all around. So what I want to template from is 1 inch past this. So that's going to be a corner. That's going to be the corner of the seat. Well, not the corner, but that's going to be the front edge of this seat. And I have another mark on this side. So I have some scrap. This is like plastic cardboard, but this could be anything. And I just have this set right to this front edge. And I just put some pins. It's basically right up tight against this rib. And I'm just going to give myself a little mark right where I want to be lining that up with the front edge, right at this point right here. So that little mark right there will help me reference, because this is not at the right angle here. This is, but this is not. So let's bring this over to my plywood seat and trace it and cut it. Alright, so I'm templating this bow seat. A couple of pieces here. I just have them touching against these two ribs. And I want this to have this 1 inch overhang. But this is at a little angle right here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little big. I'm going to drop the plywood on top after I cut it with a little long. Then I'm just going to put this under here and then mark where that front edge is and recut that. So All right, I'll take that off, trace it on the plywood, cut it out. Just like I said, this is going to be a little long here. I'll recut this after I drop it on. Okay, that's all I have to know right now. Now I'm going to put this 1-inch overhang. I'm just going to push that up against my bulkhead and mark the. All right, should have 2 pencil marks on there. I can cut that. Okay, we trim that. So I'm adding my build-up on the bottom of this, on the outside edge to the bottom of these seats here. That's going to help tie it into this bulkhead. So and it creates a 1-inch overhang and stiffens it up. So I just cut these little test pieces, and I have 30 degrees and I have a little 5-degree angle because the boat's going back there, just so these fit up nice against. So wherever this pencil line right there. So one already has one. Okay. Let me make that piece up, and I'll do this front edge piece, and that seems to be close to done. Screw this on. Keep it flush. I'm using 1¼ by 8 flathead stainless. A little bit of wax. bedded in there nice. Super strong. Tie this all together. Okay, I'm going to fill those with some more Ferrin compound, which that's epoxy base too. All right, I'm just going to put a clamp on this front to make sure it's all good. All right, look at that seat I just installed. And right before I did that, I installed this bow eye. 1/2 inch, nice and stout. I drilled a 9/16 hole and epoxy the inside of that hole, and then went ahead and put the bolt through. Now the skiff out the door. Another happy customer.